This is a 2015 Hyundai Genesis sedan 3.8. I was needing to replace the wheel studs, and I was nervous about having to take off either the whole shoe or the axle and the hub. What I was able to do was just loosen these bolts and keep this threaded, just knock this back a little bit, and then pry up on the wheel hub and move this little spring, and there's this little peg that sits in there. Just make sure you put square side up. It just sits like that, and you want to make sure this back spring stays in place. Other than that, I've been just moving all of them over to this opening. Only tools I needed were a 13 and a 14 wrench. I would wrap it around the new one, and then I like to have an extra lug nut that I don't really care about. Tighten it, and whenever you tighten it, before you set it, it's going to spin a lot, and so what you want to do is just create some resistance with the wrenches until they set flush, and then I just kept going at it with an impact. All with this one, so it's a bit of a pain to maneuver this in, but it will fit as long as you loosen this up a decent bit. I like to have the threads around there, but I was able to do it with threads there. They are on the back side of this main hub. There's two bolts next to each other on each one of these bolts, so for every one of these bolts there's an extra bolt to either the left or the right of it. You just want to keep an eye on it and make sure that these are spinning whenever you're loosening. For me, it was a 14 millimeter, and to knock them out, I just hit them with the regular old hammer. You don't have to have something as big as this. You can use a claw hammer. 14 first because it's a little bit wider. 13's a little more snug. And then chase it with a lug nut. I like how that feels. So I'm just tighten it. Alright, now I don't even have to hold the wrenches. They just do their own thing. I'm just going to make sure that the wrenches don't touch the other studs, or I might have to redo them again. So I like how that looks. Good. Now, these will be really hot if you're using an impact, so I'm just going to let them be for a second and tighten these up and get this where it needs to be. Just like that. They'll be fine. Everything's good. They've got new studs. Just make sure you got your washer your axle nut. This one is a 32, but before I do that, I'm gonna tighten them. That top one. Alright. Alright. So right under this top little knuckle, you can see it spinning. I'm gonna get it pretty tight. Feel around for any other bolts that you may have accidentally loosened in the process. Boom, there it is. Now just the bottom one. So when you're all done, that one, and then that one should all be tight. This should be square side up, followed by the spring up top, and then make sure you also have the spring on the back side hooked up. Once you have that, you're good to go. I'm going to tighten this axle nut up. Make sure you got it lined up for the cotter pin. One side, wiggle that bitch through. It's almost there. Whenever you get this cotter pin in, you want to bend the ends. Whenever you first see the car, it will be something similar to this. And in that case, you just want to straighten it out and then pull up some pliers or a pick or whatever way you want to get through it. Everything's nice and tight. Go back. I've got this impact driver kit. You just want to thread it on. You don't need this, but it makes it more of a guaranteed not to break something. So just tighten it by hand, or you can use an impact, a small one. So with this tool, you turn it right, or you turn it right, and you hit it, and it tightens the bolt. But it also works. If you go left, it clicks, you beat it, and that bolt's no longer an issue. You can just unscrew it like that. Just start it with the direction you're wanting to get it. Just a few taps, a few light taps. So I just took the caliper and the bracket off in one piece. Line up them pads. Mine are a 17. That's all you really need to know about this.